Hey guys, welcome to Faz Radio. Let's get started. So today we have the wonderful Carrie Allen from Gala Games again, and I'm very happy that she has decided to join us again.
Yay! I am wonderful. Thank you so much for acknowledging that. And we'll do better about explaining who I am to the people in the places who don't know me. It's sad. But we'll get them to understand. Or at least they'll be like, oh, okay, that's who she is. So
yep, I'm getting these links and I'll get the live out here in just a second.
Hello, Jeremiah. I'm actually on the right comment thread this time. Last time I had private chat up and I was like, why is no one talking to us? And then I learned that I made the boo-boo. So I'm getting better at it. It's fine. It's just weird too because like I can't see how many viewers are watching and who's talking to us, and nor can I see my own face, which is also weird. I like to look at my
We
face.
have 3 viewers right now because we have not announced it. Those are the diehards that are here right now. So guys,
now
they already loaded up the YouTube and we're ready to go.
Sweet. Now I can tell you all the secrets because you guys are the ones. You are the most important. And then everybody else later. Meh. You didn't get here in time.
That's awesome. Jeremiah. Yeah, they'll learn. They'll learn.
They'll learn. But I know people watch after the fact. A lot of people have sent messages like well after from last time, and they're like, "Hey, listen to your Faz thing," and I was like, "Oh, I hope I didn't do anything naughty." But we checked that out. Sarah was there most of the time, and Chris. There's Chris.
She was just making sure that you were. She's hanging around, making sure, like, "Hey, I'm watching you."
Exactly, which is good for me too, because I'd rather be like her being like, woo woo, don't say that. Be like, okay, anything I say is subject to not true.
So there's this guy Chris Roberts on here. Should we like boot him or let him stay?
He might be a handful to deal with, so we'll have to just keep our eye on him at the very least. That crazy Chris.
What do you need a link for Mr. Jackson?
He wants to put it in Gala Gold, bruh.
I just posted it to everyone.
Okay, yeah, we have an announcement at CryptoFaz.
Oh, I can't type in this thing. Here, let me get them all pretty to you. Back over to you.
All pretty.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this. So it sounds like, can I just put these things on Gala's website?
You mean in the Discord? Yeah.
Yeah. Will I get banned?
I won't ban you. What channel are you putting?
See what she says? See how she does that? She's doing you dirty. She's like, yeah, let him go ahead and get banned.
Hey, I'll let Jeremiah do it. I'll let Jeremiah get
banned. Here, I'll make sure that I'm in the chat for a second so that when you do drop it, so people see that I'm reacting to it.
Let's see, general.
Yeah, so they'll know you cool.
Let's see.
That's me in there, y'all.
Nice troll.
I think I spelled.
There we go. Okay, that's one. I'll respond to when we got others.
Don't hit me. I will never hit you. You're fine. It's gonna be fine.
The bot is gonna snipe you for like posting to 7 different rooms, if nothing else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's like, so our mods are very excellent, and so if they see something that seems sus, they're like, boom, and take you down. So I just want to make sure that they know that you're legit. Like they know Faz's, but like I didn't tell anyone, so it's fine.
So this is a live thing, people. If you're listening to this recorded, we kind of screw around at first because apparently we don't know what we're doing, and we're just making sure that we're getting the word out, and then we get down to business. So if you want to move to, I don't know, my future that hasn't happened yet, you can move things
Who
forward.
posted in gold?
I did.
You did?
I did.
A couple of people did. I think Jeremiah did, and so did somebody else.
Okay.
And then
because I saw
also in general,
I'm like, who the heck is that? I've never seen.
That's
that
clearly me,
before.
bruh. Come on.
It needs to be in general. Oh, you posted it in general. No, clearly me.
Clearly me did.
Okay, clearly. Not
All
many
right.
people for a special guest. We got 21 people. We're still growing. Deal with it, man.
It's cool. It's cool. Jeremiah is clearly me. I mean, clearly, obviously. I watch the comments in the radio thing. I assume those are coming from Faz, your Discord
What's that
channel.
now? Comment.
Where are the questions coming from that go into the
comments are
chat that I
coming
see?
from.
They
is-
come in from all three of the feeds.
Yeah.
So if they're on the
YouTube,
YouTube,
Twitch,
they can
and
put
Twitter.
it in YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. They'll show up here. That's how we can see it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so those are the ones that I see. And like I can watch other places, but no promises. Thank you for saying I'm special, Antoine. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Carrie, just don't be clicking on the comments. I did that and it threw a splash over the thing and Faz got mad at me.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, we don't want
probably
Faz
like-
can.
mad.
He's like, what buttons are you pushing? I'm like, I don't know.
I didn't press any
People
of the
don't
buttons.
realize how stupid we are.
And we're not even drinking yet.
I am. I mean, what?
Yeah, well, I haven't had dinner yet. I just got home a little while ago.
Same. I've been in meetings all day.
I'm
They're
in the
getting
West
a little
Coast.
cray.
It's still the afternoon for me. Everything's still
Oh,
open over here.
It's after 5, so I'm cool.
So if it's 5 o'clock, so I could say it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I would be
You
wrong.
certainly can. Permission granted.
I worked at a startup once, and the CEO used to get on the loudspeaker at like 3 o'clock, and he'd be like, "I'm shutting the phones off so we can have beer on Friday." He knew better. We had somebody on the phone drunk once, and that's all it took. He's like, "Yeah, I'm shutting the phones off if we do this anymore."
That's probably for the best. Like I get nicer. I know that might seem crazy because I am, as sweet as they come, but the more I drink, the just sweeter I get. So I don't know if there's meanness in me. There's feisty, not necessarily meanness though. Hey, Galax. Hey guys, Punjab. Yeah, that's right. I will be very careful about not drinking too much to loose lips and sink the ship.
Drink all you want.
We'll keep you running at the mouth for like 2 hours, and 7 whiskeys later, we'll know everything about Gala.
We'll ask the same question 47 different ways, and something's going to slip out.
We'll get her to the point where she's just snapping her fingers and her husband's bringing the drinks.
Yeah, I'll be like, next. I need the next one. I'm ready, you guys. They have more questions. We can't stop.
All right,
I
so
love
we should probably get rolling now that we got it all over the place.
All right, we're ready. I'm ready.
So, as Faz had mentioned, we do have, surprisingly, people here that aren't very versed in Gala. So if maybe, Carrie, you can tell us a little about what you do there, who you are, what you're about before we get started.
Why, certainly. So, Gala Games. I joined last year officially in March as an employee. I had done some stuff helping with the very first Galaverse back when it was done like Digicon, because I created that with Chris Roberts as well when I worked at Splinterlands. And so I came to Gala and I started kind of shadowing Bitbender, Jason Brink, and figuring out what he does. And I was kind of quiet for a while in the community, and I have essentially taken over like community / marketing, internal liaison, get information from our team to the community. I do most all of the Discord announcements. So that's me, the Carrie Allen, that you'll see inside of our main Gala Games Discord. I kind of just hold all of the things in my brain. Like I know what's happening for all the different games, at least on a high level, so that I am able to do announcements, answer questions, basic questions. I have contacts in all of the game development teams, and they keep growing. So soon I'm sure this is going to change a bit, because I probably won't be able to do 30, 40, 50 games. Right now I'm able to handle it. And we are bringing more people on to the team, and Chris's team, who does social media. Chris Roberts, who's in the chat, happens to be my husband and also works at Gala Games, and he's the writer. And we're really expanding. And yeah, so mostly I do community, answer questions, make sure that people know what's going on, help to organize information that is kind of flowing out of Gala Games into mostly our Discord, and helping out with our socials, which we have more people coming on to do that as well. My background is more crypto than gaming, but I was on the original team for Splinterlands along with Chris Roberts too for the first 3 years. And then I kind of did both Splinterlands and Gala for a while, which is why we have a Splinterlands channel in our Gala Games channel. We first combined the communities because that was my big thing. I wanted to combine communities for crypto gaming because I think it's important that we all stick together and we grow this space the best that we can, working together, and just have fun along the way as we learn and grow and just get more awesome. So I've been around forever, it feels like, in crypto for 6 or 7 years, and then the crypto gaming sphere about 3.5 years ago, and then Gala for coming up on a year soon, at least on the official side of things. That is me.
Well, it's kind of like dog years. 1 year's like 7 years, or at least it feels like it a lot of the time. So to get kind of into some things that have happened over the last couple of weeks, one big thing that came up is we saw people not only on the Gala server, but in CryptoFaz Academy as well, people talking about having some of their accounts getting liquidated on them. It's horrible. The pit of my stomach starts to ache when I see that, because it's crazy what some people have. What are some of the things that you can share with the community on ways that they can maybe bulk up the security on their Gala account?
Sure. Yeah. So I feel the same way as you do. Crypto is like the Wild West. It is relatively new. Of course, Bitcoin, 10-ish years old. And then all of the little cryptocurrency followed along after that. And then gaming, it's very new. Play to earn, very, very new. And as more and more businesses pop up, there's always going to be bad actors who are going to try to break through literally the code that people are building, where they're like, yeah, this is a really good thing and it's decentralized and it's going to work. But there's always going to be someone trying to be one step ahead of everybody and doing something to gain for themselves, no matter who it hurts along the way. The semi-okay good side of that is we are early adopters. And so, yeah, it sucks if you are one of the ones that gets hacked or stuff is stolen from you. But hopefully what that happens now with such our small community, they will be able to patch those holes, figure out why it didn't work and what they can do to make it better, so that once we do start to bring on more people and normies who have no idea what cryptocurrency is, they've heard of Bitcoin and probably ETH at this point, but we really need to make it a safer place. The decentralization part of it, in my opinion, makes it really hard because education is what we have to focus on. If there was a happy balance, and this is again my opinion, between decentralization and centralization, that would probably be the best, just to help, your grandma or your aunt to get into crypto, or my mom, she's not comfortable doing that yet, because it's just she hears horror stories and they are definitely out there. And when I get a message, I get that feeling in the pit of my stomach too. I think, oh my God, what would I do if that happened to me? I would be just devastated, and knowing that there's literally nothing I can do about it at that point, because that is the risk that I am taking doing this and being here early before things are totally 100% ready, across the board and everything. So with that being said, things to do to keep yourself on super high lockdown. So these might be obvious things, but sometimes they might not be to you. So I was joking mildly with Chris earlier. I think he told me that it was 13% of people, not in crypto, but just across the board, use the exact same password for everything. That's ridiculous to me. However, I used to do that. So I understand where people are coming from, where you're like, okay, well, I have a Facebook and I have a Twitter and I have my Gmail account, and I'm just going to have the same password because who cares? It's not a big deal. Well, now when you are literally, those passwords are connected to wallets and actual assets and things that you are supposed to own, and that there's no central authority that's going to be like, okay, so you lost your credit card and then someone's using it. We'll just turn that off, and we have all this funds that we're going to give that back to you so that you can continue to use us. That's your safety net, your insurance. And with crypto, it's different. Everyone is in charge of themselves. They're in charge of taking the responsibility on educating themselves on what to do. And from the other side of that, the companies creating the crypto things and those things like that, I really think that we need to, and definitely are, lots of people are doing this, pump up our education on crypto security, on really how to be, so that we don't turn off the masses. So never use the same password ever on anything ever. Don't have like even your Yahoo account that you can sign into Twitter with. Don't have the same password for that. Even if it's like slightly different. I would also say use those password generators, which are like, use ones that are more than 12 characters long. Use the 16 character one. Keep a book that you like physically write it down, and then keep another book where you write it down, and then keep that book in a separate safe. So if like your house burnt down and the safe didn't, you would still have the ability to get into your passwords. You can share it on an encrypted file on your computer. That gets a little more complicated, but honestly, you can Google that and it's not that bad. So you can figure out how to...
There are password managers actually that you can get, like
Yeah.
LastPass and 1Password, which can
And
help you.
And they store those passwords so that they can't see them. So they don't own your password as well. So like those companies are, they're using cryptography to store your password essentially, so that you have access to it still, but nobody on that side is going to be able to get it. So they're generally safe. Of course, do your research. Make sure you're using one that is safe if you do that. And I would say, even if you're using a password manager, write it down everywhere. Like have it in another space so that you have that in case you need a backup, in case something happens. The second thing that I would say that is super important is make sure you have 2FA enabled on as many things as you possibly can. So for people who may be very new, two-factor authentication. Most people use like Google Authenticator. I use Authy. I love it because I can have it on all my devices, including my desktop. So I can have a little Authy app available there. If like I don't want to run down and get my phone for something, it can go in multiple places, and it sends you basically a 6-digit code. Was that like a real landline, or is that what your cell phone sounds like?
That must be Titan's phone. He's probably muted.
Yeah, sorry, that was my cell phone. My mother decided to call me.
That's
so
okay.
I apologize.
Can I jump in really quick since we have this break here? So this is, I think, the hardest thing about crypto that people don't understand, and it's frequently billed as an advantage, but it's a tremendous disadvantage as well. Right now, people are used to having a trusted company that they could do things with. They go to a trusted intermediary. They go to a bank. They go to your credit card. They go to whatever, and that gives them somebody to scream at. Mm-hmm. And now, of course, I like the idea where everybody is kind of their own bank in a way, but what that does is it changes the way a lot of people see life. We're used to trusting other people, and now people don't realize that they can't do that anymore. What I think is going to happen, frankly, is there's going to be a layer of intermediaries between yourself and the blockchain. Mm-hmm. And I kind of see Gala Games as an intermediary in a way, especially because you're hosting our wallets in a way. You're acting as a wallet provider in a way. But these intermediaries are going to take the place of Visa, MasterCard, your bank, and so on. And the blockchain is still going to be your responsibility, but honestly, your grandmother's never going to figure out blockchain. She's not going to get it. She's not going she's been spending 80 years of her life doing things one way. Your mother, who's in her 70s or 60s, is not going to get it. Just like she can barely open Notepad on her computer, she's not going to understand the blockchain. So you got to realize that most people in this world, they don't know how their cars work. They don't know how their email works. They think these things are magic. And I get it. Great. You can control the stuff yourself. Blockchain is intended to be like this for this way, but what's really going to happen is some intermediaries are going to pop up. And so the question I have, and this is a bit of a tough question, is Gala going to be an intermediary like that, or are they just going to say, darn, you got hacked? Yeah, sorry.
So as far as like, and I don't know what the future will hold, but as far as like laws and things like that, because we are still currently totally decentralized, there is not a way for us to do that now. Now, I have heard of places that are like literally brick and mortar banks that are popping up to basically hold, like you can walk in and set up your crypto stuff and they take care of all your keys just like a regular bank. But you still have crypto, but they are there to help back up those assets for you. So exactly how a regular bank would be. So that's where I would lean toward thinking that would work rather than the actual companies. For like a company that is already doing crypto things, for them to do what you're describing, I would assume that they would have to KYC. So know your customer. So that means they would have to get all of that information from you so that then they could report that information to whatever specific places need it to be reported to. And then there are so many other legal aspects that come along with that make it a lot more complicated. What I will say is we are, like Chris said, we are working on beefing up our content to help educate people, to empower them to protect themselves. So that's what I've been saying for the last several years, is what we really need to do is empower people to understand what they can do to protect themselves and understand that you do things that you do, even if it's an accident, then it's still you. And like, of course, if there's something like horrible or a breach or something that any company finds, then, for the most part, they would be able to try to do their best to make that right. But in the world of decentralization as it stands now, it's very, very complicated to be able to offer that centralization option. So right now, Gala Games is very decentralized. Right.
So we're really early.
Very, very early. And like, there's not been any talks of anything like that, or even like KYCing. Like right now, as far as I understand, we're decentralized. You don't have to tell us who you are. We don't know anything about you. We offer a way to easily create, like when you sign up for Gala at gala.games, you get an ETH hardware wallet, or not hardware, an ETH wallet that is created for you. So, which is easily done on any website. It just creates your wallet ID and boom, then you have somewhere to save it. You have to set up the account. What we offer is that extra layer of protection with the password and then the transfer code, which, yes, if you're using that, do not keep those the same thing. Like for me, I have a password that is easy for me to remember so that when I log in, I can just type that in. And then my transfer code is like numbers and letters and characters and things, something I would never know that I have to keep written down. And anytime I need to use that, I have to go find it and actually type that in so that I have that second layer of security. And then I also have my seed word phrase or secret phrase or 12-word code, whatever you want to call it. It's called a million different things. And I also have that written in several different places as well. And that thing is another level to help protect you again, so that you can change those things. And that was something that was decided because with decentralization, we don't have your keys. Everything on our side it's been, like I never remember how to say the word right. And then I know Chris will make fun of me later for saying it wrong. So it's been crypto. It's been, so there's no way for us to actually see it. And people get very upset. They're like, why can't you just give it to me? And I'm like, well, because we don't have it. That is not how this works.
So that's a challenge. And I would call it a messaging challenge. And I'm trying to help you out here by saying it's really early. I think this area is still developing, and it's going to take a while to get the users used to doing a lot of things manually. I would propose that a lot of people don't want to do these things manually. But I think that there could probably be some, I don't know, I bet there could be a different way of messaging. I'm just throwing it out there. I bet that there could be a different way of messaging to make to make it more noticeable. For example, I was in the Navy and I worked in security, data security, and every third word out of somebody's mouth wherever I was, loose lips sink ships, and this is you need to be careful with your data. You need to, everything was about safeguarding the information. It hit you. It was hitting you every single day, and that's what I kind of feel that maybe crypto companies should be doing. If you're hosting a wallet, I mean, it should be like every single page, like, hey, be aware that the
Right.
bad guys are around,
Yeah. So that's true. I do not disagree. And that is, again, something that not only we, but everybody else in the crypto space is working on really hard. We have updated several times, like what it looks like when you first log into Gala Games. There's actually another change coming very soon to our platform. Just try to make it more obvious. So like right now, I think when you create an account, like it's like big, long, red, scary banner that's like, write this down and don't lose this. This is your only way in. And like we can only do so much to get people to read that. And then of course we have our support pages that explain very clearly, we can't replace these for you. This you can change, this you cannot, this you have to keep safe for yourself. So what we are trying to do is definitely educate people so that they are more safe and more secure. And like Chris says, the advantage is if we can get them to understand and accept that responsibility and that risk and know that like you're early. So there's going to be so many awesome perks, which I'm sure many of you have already experienced being in crypto this early. And I know you feel like, well, I've been in it for years. I'm like, that's so early still. You have reaped those benefits, but at the same time, there are a lot of things that can and will be painful along this course as we learn to grow and get better and figure out how to work. And the big disadvantage is not being able to somehow get to people to train them and educate them in time before they do something. They rush in, they don't know what they're doing, and then they're instantly upset because they didn't know they should have written down their transfer code. And I'm like, what how the flashing banner was like, you should write this down. And there's no way for us to help those people. I wish I could hold the hand of every single person. And I'm sure that we will figure out ways to more, not literally, but make it very clear that they have to be responsible for themselves, or they have to be sad later when they do that. I'm just scrolling through the comments really quickly. As far as KYC things, right now, like it's possibly discussed, but like I said, it's like not been like, most people are anti KYC in crypto, to be honest. People don't want to do that. And I understand, like, even from my perspective personally, I don't mind it as much because like I believe that cryptocurrency is a really great thing for the future, for us to be able to easily share money around the world where it's just very hard to do otherwise. Like, random side story, like trying to send like money via PayPal to another side of the world, it takes forever. But trying to send money to my brother, it takes like a week. With crypto, I could be instant. And so there's so many benefits of doing this. So I don't mind that idea, but a lot of people are very anti that. And so we have to think about our community, why people are in crypto. And we also think about what is going to happen when we start to expand into those other people. And we want to keep that privacy and everything like that. But I see what people are saying who ask for it. And at the same time, I see what people are saying who are like, no, I would never do that. I would leave instantly. Let's see. Yeah, Chris is saying all this.
So I think the bots that you have over at the Gala server that put out the, hey, we'll never ask you, we'll never message you first, we'll never ask you for a seed phrase.
Yes.
Just letting people know, unless you are logging in to a wallet for the very first time, or on a new computer or on a new phone, sometimes even, there's no other reason to use it.
Correct.
At all, no matter what anybody tells you.
And like somehow we need to put fear into people. Like, it's in me. I don't click things. I watch scam videos on YouTube all the time that don't even have to do with cryptocurrency. Scammers are out there. You maybe not when we were live. Oh, okay. So your friend's story, how you can Google Gala Games, and like the top hit could be Gala Games or galagames.com or something like that, and we're Gala.games, obviously. So not knowing, they've copied everything. You click on that first top link, you don't realize what you're doing. You already have your MetaMask connected to your browser at that time. You sign in, it says connect your MetaMask, boom, now they've stolen everything from you. And there's like literally no way for you to know that. So for us, that is just horrible and terrifying. And like what we do is anytime you see a link like that or notice that, you can send that to me in Discord and I will get it to our Smash team and they will get rid of those websites and they take them down. But I saw, it happens not just in crypto. I saw a YouTube video of a scammer where it was, if not in the United States, but in other countries, if you Googled Amazon, it came up as Amazon.com. It looked exactly like the other Amazon. It was the top hit. And when you logged in, it redirected you to this page that kind of looked like it was from the 90s. So like that would have put, red flags up in my head. And it was like, please put in this information and this information. And then it's like instantly it's taken all of your info that you have from ever. Like it was a crazy, crazy in-depth scam. So it's not just crypto. It's not just because we're totally new. It's everywhere. The scammers are getting smarter because it is good for them. It's lucrative to steal money from people who aren't paying attention. So it's definitely a stress for everybody. And I understand when people are sad. So like as a quick recap, and then we'll answer some more questions, of course, don't have the same password. Write your password down in several different places. Store it in a password keychain holder thingy. I don't know what they're called. Use 2FA 100% of the time. If you are holding lots of crypto or assets and things, get a hardware wallet. Those are pretty inexpensive to purchase, especially if you're already holding a lot of assets and things. They're very easy to use. They're basically just look like a USB. And that means it's totally safe because somebody would have to have your USB and your password stuff to get into that. And so physically, less likely for that to get stolen on that side of things. Password manager like LastPass. Thank you. I was like, I can't think of the word of it. And then never ever click links in DMs, even if it's from someone who looks like your friend. I have sad stories of people impersonating me and then sending a message on Discord, DMs to people with everything that looks like me, essentially. Like they have totally faked my account and everything. The only thing that would have given the warning was that like we didn't have an open conversation with this person, which, if you're not paying attention, that's easy to not notice. And then I will never ask for money. No one from Gala Games will ever ask you for your keys, for a screen share, for your password, for anything like that. Like nobody on the CS team will ask you for those things. Like email is maximum. Like that is it. That is as deep as we will get into the thing is just your email. No passwords for anything like that. Turn off your DMs. Like it's pretty easy. You can turn them off per server or you can turn them off across the board, particularly in Discord. And then you don't have to be tempted to click anything. Facebook, Twitter, same way. Don't click links that seem too good to be true because they are. And like, I feel like your group of people, Faz, like these people aren't stupid. Like you guys are already, you were smart enough to find Faz's Discord. So you've already been asking questions. You're already, kind of in the know on things, but spread this word around. Tell all your friends, tell your auntie, tell the person down the street, like remind them, like they're on Facebook, don't click links. Like I don't even click links in my email that say they come from Amazon because I don't know. Like if they send me something and they're like, oh, your account is this and this, I don't click that link. I go Google it or I go log into my account directly from another browser to see if that's legit or not. Same thing like with my bank. Like it doesn't even matter. Like if it says it's coming from my bank, I don't trust it. Like I am not clicking anything because I know how easy it is for something horrible to happen. Another side note is Metamask. There's been a lot of breaches in Metamask and I know it's hard to get with their support. Again, decentralization. With Gala Games, you have people to yell at. We have an open Discord. We are here. We have a ton of mods. Our employees are front-facing. We're always there to answer questions. We're not trying to hide behind anything. And we want to be there for the community as we grow. That's not true for a lot of crypto projects. And I know even very recently, MetaMask is relatively easy to breach. So when you're not using MetaMask, make sure you log out and disconnect the sites that you're on. And every time you want to use that site again, then you can log back in, make sure you're safe, and then reconnect that site. There's no reason to keep it connected. Yeah, it's going to take you a few more minutes to log back in, but that is just another level of safety that you need and want to keep safe for yourself, just across the board. I would like, there's so many other things, like I could get into OpenSea and how to be more safe on OpenSea. For a random example, there have been scams going around on OpenSea where people are offering amounts of money on like an asset that you may own, and they have somehow put in the code. So if you click that link from the email and then go to OpenSea and then you accept the request, then they have now hacked into whatever connected wallet you have, generally Metamask, and now they can take all of your things. And then they put a code on your thing, so anything that comes in automatically gets sent to their wallet. So all of these things are terrifying, and all we need to do is tell everybody. Like, we need to know what are happening and let everyone know and be as safe as possible while those engineers figure out a way to combat that. Because as Faz has mentioned, we're early, and so there's a lot of benefits to being early, but there's also a lot of things that can suck if we're not careful while it's happening.
So to kind of dovetail this into the security conversation and something we talked about, what was it, 2 weeks ago when we were on last? Pushing the positives here on the progress that Gala is making, right? So we saw horrible disasters with Townstar Voxes, and then everything was patched up great, and we went into Mirandus Voxes.
Is
then
this positive?
It is. I'm getting there. And then everything went great until it didn't. Okay. But you made huge strides between the two. What is Gala putting in place? What are you hearing is going on to help reassure this community that when the next drop happens, we're not nervous going in?
So banning like very specific things, I am in those groups and I have been watching. And from what I understand, the team is very, very happy with the progress that they have made on how much safer this is going to be. And like you said, yeah, like there were issues in the very first box drop, the one that were Townstar, and then we fixed those and we figured out what we did wrong and what we will never do again and how to make that more secure. And then the next one came, and then something else happened, and we're like, ruh-roh, how can we fix that? And so now we're using, I don't want to say for 100% sure, I'd have to go back in and look, but it's a completely different like software or something that's going to ensure that specifically what happened with this last, the Mirandus Fox drop will not happen again. So like there will be no way for that breach to occur again. Now that's not saying that something else is crazy that is going to happen.
Yeah.
But we're fixing all of the issues as they come. And like they are feeling very, very confident and excited for the next round of those and sale of things that are coming in.
I had a conversation about that today, and a lot of that, they don't understand how hard you guys are working behind the scenes to get that stuff taken care of. Unfortunately, because there's a lot of newer people to crypto here,
sure,
they assume that you're the expert. Here you are, this giant gaming company who's revolutionizing blockchain gaming. And my comment back to one of the questions or comments that came out was, you have to understand that they're doing all this for the first time.
Right.
And if you're a baseball player your whole life and somebody gives you a hockey stick and a pair of skates and says, go play hockey, I mean, you're going to be flat on your ass in about 4 seconds. So the important thing is maybe getting across to people, that Gala Games takes it very seriously, and they're working diligently to try and get all these things. Nobody's going to be perfect. And we're all learning this together. Like
Exactly. Like that is an excellent point to try to, especially to new people, like we get it. You like you're saying, you just have to remember this is new to everybody. And while we have really, really smart, like borderline genius developers, their background is in developing normal code, not blockchain code, because blockchain code is brand new. Like it's still really new. And so they're doing, what they can to build these great new ideas that are coming out, and they're testing them, and when they find a hole in it, they fix that hole and then they move on the next day. And you are completely correct to assume that behind the scenes, they are busting their asses. We are hiring new people all the time. This year, we plan to expand just greatly. And that's because we have big plans. Like so last year, a lot of the year was like, announcing new titles and things like that. And this year we have to deliver on those things. We need to bring those and actually, come true on our promises that we made. And that is what we were working on. And that's what we want to do. And sometimes we'll mess up and then we'll be like, whoops, we messed up. We're going to keep going forward though. We're going to make it better because we're learning and it's good. But yeah, that's what happens when you're starting a new pathway. This isn't like a paved road on a superhighway where it's all perfect and everything's great and there are road signs and it tells you where to go and where to get off. This is like we're in the middle of the mountains and trying to go through a field that has all these extra tall branches and things in the way that we're having to like push down and like get out so that we can like make that path so that we can pave the road so that other people, it'll be easier in the future. They can follow behind us and then it'll be, everybody doing crypto and this will just make sense. Being part of something new is always like that. It is stressful and exciting and sometimes sad. And then you wake up and you do it again the next day and you never stop. And like, I know for a fact that a lot of the people on our team at Gala Games, like there are no weekends for us. Like we don't stop. Like we can't stop a lot of the time. Like if it's in the middle of the night and we get a phone call because Townstar went down, we have to wake up and fix that. Like we don't get to do the 9-to-5 jobs where we just get to be like, oh, well, we'll come back on Monday and it'll be fine again. That is not how it works. We're creating a new revolution of new ideas of all of this in the space. And we are here for everybody. And we want to do that. Like I'm going to get teary-eyed because I believe in it so much. Calm down, Carrie. I'm not even drunk. God.
Well, I'll tell you, and because there's so many new people, I mean, Gala is obviously exploding with users and a whole bunch of new people here. And it seems like all of us who've been involved in this for as long as we have, we've been through the cycles where people will come in and say, oh, well, on one hand, they'll complain that you're not decentralized enough. And then on the other hand, they'll say, well, how come they can't fix this? And when Towncoin crashes, why aren't they propping it up? And again, I'm explaining it. In the room today, I said, you can't have it both ways. You can't complain that it's not decentralized, but then beg for centralization. And they're not understanding, the why behind the why on that.
I know this whole Towncoin thing. So it is really getting on my nerves. And so I'm going to air out for a second. So Towncoin, and I think Carrie can easily dovetail into this. Towncoin is there for Townstar. It has its own particular value for buying NFTs and so on. And the problem is Towncoin is diving for whatever reason. And people are like, well, it's in Gala's best interest to get that coin up. Well, no, it's not. Actually, it's if they did that, they would be in trouble with the SEC. That's called, you'd be making it into a security. So no, they cannot do that. So stop saying that, guys. It's not. Look, I would love for Towncoin to be $2 again. I collect Town every day because I play Townstar. I love that. But come on, realize that Gala doesn't, they don't have a choice here with existing securities laws. And it actually does have a purpose. Now, I can understand where they say that maybe the NFTs should be priced in town and not pegged to the dollar in some ways, because in that case, there is some correlation between, if the market's down, well, less people are going to buy because you have your town is 10 times less effective than it was last week. Well, that's what it is for me. So do you have any comments that you can give in that area?
Yeah, so specifically in the last day, like this morning or something like that, the issue with the town going like dramatically lower, as far as I can understand from what I was watching, the listing on Hotbit with the fake Towncoin caused that like visual discrepancy. So it's not true necessarily. So what I understand, what happened was the Hotbit, they listed us, and then CoinGecko, which is where we generally get our amounts from, that we use CoinGecko generally over CoinMarketCap. CoinGecko counted the Hotbit release thinking that they had listed us as well. So because that was a fake Towncoin on Hotbit, and then they were attempting to sell lower than the floor price, which was the normal price that was over on other markets, that messed everything up. So it showed up as being incorrect. We are trying, I don't know if they have gotten back to us yet, but we are trying to work with CoinGecko to get the Hotbit listing removed, because that has caused a lot of sadness, and we understand that. So I feel like most of that is visual. So just to let everybody know, Bitbender did do an announcement early this morning just to let people know that on CoinGecko, the town-star listing is not us, and we were trying to get that removed from CoinGecko because it is not us, and it is like people, and I'm sure people did go to the Hotbit place and purchase it for that lower amount and things like that, thinking that they could get in lower. So that is kind of like an aside of something just that happened to happen today. So that was a little bit weird. Hotbit, as far as I know, I've never used it before. I don't know much about it. I don't know. From the small amount of research that was done, it seems like anybody can post on there. Nobody stops you from doing anything. We tried to contact them and we haven't heard back from them specifically to get that listing removed, because all they did was copy everything from us. So it was literally, they just took town-star, copied our URL, our website, like made it seem like it was directly coming from us. So no Hotbit.
Now, so before we get to the ultimate question about Towncoin, yes, I was the idiot who dropped the bomb earlier this week when I bumped into the Gala token on Solana chain. And
I think that's a fake too.
Well, and see, that was the thing. I was looking up something completely different. And I happened to pull down the drop down because I wanted to get the Gala token address. And I looked and I'm like, well, that's new. And I'm like, how do these, I'm thinking to myself, how can this get on CoinMarketCap if Gala didn't do it? Because I look it up and Google tells me, oh, there's this security and verification and everything else. So you have to be careful and maybe staying out in front now that this has happened twice in a week so far.
Yeah, I just
staying out in front of it and letting people know, hey, in your face, we have not joined any other chain. We have not joined, because people don't know. They assume an authority like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap would have accurate information.
Right. And so, like, just to let everyone listening understand too, as far as exchanges and places that list things like CoinMarketCap and even CoinGecko, they don't talk to anybody about stuff. They do whatever they want. We find out about it generally after the fact. So like, and that is relatively true for any exchange. Like, yes, if you go to any of the exchanges, there's a place where it says that you want to put your exchange here and you can fill out an application. That doesn't matter very much in general. Like, that is more for looks than anything else. Maybe it will get you on the radar so that they might then look at it, but they are just going to straight up not even contact you, and they'll do whatever they want no matter what it is, no matter what your app is.
So it sounds like our advantage here of decentralization is a disadvantage in a way, because each each player is going to do their own thing, and they're not looking to Gala for directions. They're just saying, this is what we've determined.
Right. So they might have seen something like, oh, look, Townstar has this new thing. And then whoever's running the CoinGecko site might be like, oh, they must have done a new thing. And they do very little, if any, research, add it on, and then not realizing that that's going to hurt everyone. They don't contact us to be like, hey, is this yours? So that is definitely an issue with decentralization. Like on the mildly good side of things with Gala Games, we're very front facing. It is super easy to get a hold of us. Like we have I am in the group, like we have a direct contact with CoinGecko. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. They could have easily just a quick message and asked us. Like we're always available and we answer very quickly. I know that's not true for all things, but we do try to do whatever we can to make it so that we are available so that these things don't happen. And I did scroll up and I found that like the Solana thing was definitely not us. Sometimes like we don't know that we've been added to a crypto, like an exchange until we see the tweet. And like people are always surprised at that. I'm like, well, they don't tell anyone. Like they do their own thing. And like, I know it's super weird to like hear that and not maybe understand that, and it was weird for me too, because like, I assume that we're doing certain things and there's always, outliers where like you might like reach out to someone or say an exchange does reach out to a project and like, then they want to do some kind of partnering thing. Like that's definitely true. And that totally happens. But for the most part, it's just like, there's people working behind a desk at their house and they're just like, this looks cool. Okay, added. And they're not doing their due diligence. So it does end up falling on the other projects. And so we are doing our best to do that. I agree. Having like as the best possible messaging that we can. I like that in Discord, we have the thing that comes through on the bot in the main channel that says, we'll never DM you and never ask for anything. And the mods and the team members. And like, it's very, very likely, it looks like we should probably get something that comes also in there with the bot that explains how other things work and how to just watch.
You could do that on Gala's main page because this a lot of these scams show they have an iframe and they show the Gala page and then they pop up JavaScript in front of that. And if you had something on the main page that was like, we will never ask you. I mean, if it's a tagline, maybe make a little song. We don't ask you for your private keys, and
only if
that was lovely.
You're
hired. Yeah, exactly. So I like that because I know we're gonna be doing some more updates to our like main platform. When
you can make a cartoon mascot.
Yes, dude, I think we have something like that coming. Yay. Because I think that's fun too. That something where people will look at it and
the McDonald's used to have the Hamburglar. Remember he always wanted to steal the hamburgers? Well, you can you can have like the guy that always tries to steal your private keys. You could have a character like that. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So so that's still like it's a really good idea too if people already have our direct link and they've already logged into us in a browser so that when they type in Gala, it comes up as gala.games. Like for new people searching us because they heard it from a friend, those people are still kind of like, not safe because like they could type in Gala Games when they Google it. If they've never Googled it before, then they might be hitting like a bunch of other fake sites before they even get to the top site. Now, again, as soon as we see these, we get them smashed relatively quickly. So we have a very, very good team of people who are able to take down those websites that are fake. So I'm open to ideas on how to deal with that. Like, I guess we could take out ad space on Google and just like if that somehow shows up and it says Gala Games will never do this and this and this. But I like the cartoon idea where like maybe he just kind of walks across the screen randomly with like a little speech bubble or like a flag and he's like, we will never ask you to log in with your 12 seed phrase or your transfer code unless you are trying to transfer an item. And like those kind of things are really helpful.
James Wright said the key burglar. I think we have a character.
The
key burglar. And I mean, if you make him into a cartoon character, even grandma's going to know, oh my God, watch out for the key burglar. Watch out.
Yes, I love it. I love it so much. I'm going to suggest that, and then I will have somebody draw this picture of the key burglar, and I will bring it into the Faz Academy, and you guys will see it, and you'll be like, oh my God, you made it to come to life in like 2 days. And I'm like, yes, I did, sir.
There's got to be a way. I'm sorry. There's just got to be a way to really cement this in people's consciousness.
I agree.
Can I go back? I want to go back to town
No,
again.
yeah, you can.
Carrie is now indoctrinated in the wandering CryptoFaz radio show. We just kind of go all over the place.
All right.
That's all right.
So I believe Titan called it the ultimate question, and tell me if I got it right. I really want to hit on town's utility because I've been, and I'm only responding. I'm representing a lot of people that, in my opinion, seem rather butthurt, but a lot of people on CryptoFaz that are like, what's this town business? Why do I need to buy this? Whatever. And I've been giving a lot of times I give the response, I've tried giving people reasons, and I'm starting to give Eric's response to things. And I totally understand why Eric Schreiermeyer does this. Don't buy it. Okay.
Right.
Don't buy town if you're worried. Yeah, I'm sorry you feel terrible about town. You're worried about town. Don't buy it.
I agree with that. And I know that it sounds a little crazy, but there's good reasons to tell people that.
So what's the what should we tell these people? I mean, I'm
so right now I understand. Yeah, I understand the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, essentially what we call FUD around the crypto space, especially in new projects. Gala Games, I wouldn't say that we're super new, but everything's new in crypto now. Like, we have been around for, like, originally before we were called Gala Games, we were called Sandbox Game Company or something. Yeah, company. I think that's what my checks say. I don't know. So then we morphed into Gala Games, and it's been over a year now. So I feel like we're here. Eric Schreiermeyer, who you just mentioned, he, was part of MySpace when it came around in the day, part of Zynga, sold Zynga because he found out about blockchain and really wanted to get into that, partnered up, put in lots and lots of his own money to get this started, have never done an ICO. We have never taken money from investors. We are 100% self-funded in the things that we are creating. So it's super, I feel like, just from my point of view, and, I might be biased, but, like, I feel like we're in it for the long run. And I get it if you're worried about what things are coming, because you're in the garage with us while we're building it. You're not at Walmart going down the electronics aisle deciding which game to purchase, because those games have already been done. They already had the garage time. They already had their time where somebody created it and then they brought it to a big company, and then the big company tested it, and then the big company made it better. And then the big company finally was like, okay, it's ready to be put on the shelves. It's different. You're in the garage with us while we're, like, as McCarthy says from Miranda's, making the sausage, which is always ironic to me because he's vegan. So, like, why is he talking about sausage? But aside, for town, right now, you're right. The only utility is to purchase NFTs from the website in town. There are specific NFTs that you can get that are only sold in Towncoin. As we move forward, as more things are implemented to our website, as Gala Chain becomes a thing, more and more things are going to be implemented that you will be able to use Town for. So right now, it does seem like it's not a lot. I would still tell those people who are, like, worried about it, don't buy it. Just simmer down, do whatever else you want. Maybe just earn it for now. Maybe just play Townstar and earn it. Stack it up. Doesn't hurt.
So you have your plans. You have your
Yeah.
plans, and promising is not a good idea. I would,
Right.
if I was making Townstar, to be honest, I wouldn't be doing a white paper, and I wouldn't be promising. I'd be like, hey, play the game for what it's here right now. If you enjoy it, great.
Play it.
You?
And the white paper thing too, just as an aside, we don't do that because, like, we make games, and, like, I know lots of businesses and a lot of crypto projects, like, that's why people always ask for white papers, because that is, like, it was essentially the norm to do that for different projects. But as building a game is considerably different, and things change. Like, you have the highest hopes of, like, we write down, like, and we have meetings all the time within each one of the games that are, like, coming to the platform, and we have this essentially a roadmap, and, like, we have our mildly long-term roadmap, and then we have our year roadmap, and then we have our 6-month roadmap, and then we have our monthly roadmap, and constantly everything is changing. Something goes wrong, something explodes, then it's got to be pushed back because then we have to fix this thing. Like, there is no way to just know what's going to happen. Especially, it's not as easy as just making a normal game where like you're like, oh, I'm making this game, I know how long it would take me to design this to do this. Well, it's not the same. Now we're adding the blockchain aspect in. Now we're adding NFTs in. And now we're adding in like, you know, the economy of like play to earn into that too. And there's so many new variables that stuff just gets slowed down and things have to change and move about. So it has been a conscious decision of Gala Games not to do any white papers, and not to make those promises of this is going to happen then and now. And like, we do like to say, okay, we're shooting for Q3, subject to change.
Can you give, I don't know if you're the right person to ask, but can you give 2 cents on, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there's going to be a coin for just about every game. There's going to be a Miranda's coin. There's going to be a Towncoin. Do you have any comments on why there needs to be a payment coin for every single application or every single game?
Yeah, so basically just because of the play to earn aspect. So again, because we don't do any kind of ICOs, which is initial coin offering. So where that's like generally in crypto space, that's where you would like sell your coin before you have a project going so that you can raise money so that you can move forward. With play to earn, what we generally would want to be able to do is you are only able to get that token by playing, by participating in whatever the game may be, by doing daily challenges, by whatever it might be for whatever game is happening. So your value then of you as a human being is that you are spending your time and your eyeballs and you are actually working to create that coin. So essentially that is the only way that it can come out. So if we were only to have, for instance, Gala, there is a finite amount of Gala. And of course, all cryptocurrencies can go down to a certain number of decimal points, and that just gets way less fun. Nobody wants to deal with 0.000000003 of something. Like, I know, unless you guys are Doge fans, in which case, you know, do it to it. So having one for each one of them also helps keep that that system of each one of them nice and separate so that we can have something else to offer. And once we are able to implement more things and move forward, we'll be able to make sure that they'll be doing at first the same thing. So like with Towncoin and Townstar, they're kind of like what we're using as a practice roadmap to see what we're going to do with other things. Because like, as we've mentioned, we're learning along as we go. And so like things are, of course, like when Spider Kings come out, it's not going to be exactly the same, but we're going to be using Town as a roadmap of when we use, I believe, you know, Tank when it comes out or whatever it's going to be. And then the other ones that will be coming out for like Walking Dead and then the Legends Reborn. And you're going to be able to create that currency. And then again, the people, the community, how good the game is, all of those things are what give that value and make it able to trade amongst yourself. And I always like to go back to Second Life for those of you who may be older. They did the first cryptocurrency. Like, of course, it's not on blockchain and it's not called a cryptocurrency, but they have Linden bucks and people still use that. People still like, I haven't been in Second Life forever, but I could like go back, log in, my cute little avatar that I made forever ago. And they started doing the same kind of idea. Their metaverse, they did metaverse first. They've done it. They know how to do it. It's like, I'm sure that they're like, we don't need all that other stuff.
People have been mentioning Linden dollars and Linden's and the dilemmas they had with managing the Linden bucks. But I know Gala is different and Town is different. It's decentralized.
Right, exactly. So it was definitely not decentralized there in Second Life, but the idea was there. Like they had that first idea of like they were creating, and again, it's not decentralized, so it wasn't like you have to earn to create the money. Like it was a very different thing. Like you could straight up just buy the Linden bucks with fiat, and then you use your Linden bucks inside. And you still do this, you still use it inside of Second Life, so you can buy property, buy clothing, buy outfits for your avatar, buy a pool, whatever you want to buy. You hire workers, like it's literally a metaverse. Again, before the word metaverse was cool, which I don't know if it's cool yet, to be fair.
Are you guys going to be doing any sort? Well, I'll change you guys to maybe put it up to a vote. I'm assuming at some point Town might have it's possible that town could have a burn or some other action take place to it. Is that something that's intended for the town node owners to take to manage, or how's the governance on town work?
So as far as the Townstar nodes, currently they do not have, they would not have voting power for something like that. Like their current function, particularly in stage 1, what we're in now, version 1 or whatever, is, you run your town node, you create a little bit of town, and you get that in your wallet. Then there's more stuff that we'll be implementing for version 2, which is pretty exciting for town node holders. I don't have one because the sales go so fast, you guys. They're so fast. So I know there's another Townstar node sale that should be coming relatively soon again, because we are trying to stay within that 10% of daily active players of Townstar, and never go over that. So sorry, somebody was like, I can make it cool. I can make all the things cool. All right, so tell me again what you're saying. Now I got off from my questions.
I was looking for governance.
Oh,
Sorry,
yes. So the Townstar nodes, they won't specifically have governance on that unless we decide to implement something later. So as far as like a burning mechanism, it's my dream. I don't know what they're going to decide to do. I have been pushing for that because I've been around in crypto for a while, and like I started with Splinterlands, and like how they do the regulation of the dark energy crystals is, in my opinion, straight up genius. To be able, like, they used to say it was pegged to the dollar, and it was never like right on the dollar, but it was pretty close. It would do its weird like pumps where it was like, whoa, way overvalued, because something crazy would happen in the market. And of course, that's always going to happen when humans are the ones manipulating said market. But for the most part, having that burn mechanism in there when you're creating something, because for example, in Splinterlands, every time you win, you earn. And every time you earn something, you are generating those dark energy crystals, or DEC. And so in order to make it so that DEC, which is also a currency that you can use to purchase things like cards, packs, and potions in Splinterlands, the Splinterlands team did not want it to lose value, so that it was something that people would be able to continue to use. They implemented their burn mechanism right from the beginning. So every time you spend that, it gets burnt, which means even though every day there's X amount of DEC being created, there's also X amount of DEC being used, burning it, and then kind of regulating that to make it work. So I have always been very pro that mechanism. Right now, because ETH is a pain in the butt, it makes it very expensive and harder to do that. And so we're waiting for a lot of things to move forward. I haven't heard for sure that exactly how that's going to work or what it's going to look like. I'm sure that conversations are happening currently with economics people to figure out what we're going to do moving forward on that. We're still, again, really early on. There are not a huge amount of people playing Town yet. Right now, we're in the middle of like a little weekly competition break to give the developers of Townstar a chance to like catch up a lot of the issues that we've been regularly having, so that we can get ready to onboard more people. And that's going to be able to open up our possibilities to bring on more people. And then that is, again, going to bring more town into the system. So we are going to have to look at how we are going to handle that, and what things we're going to implement. So it's not just, you can buy some NFTs with town. There are lots of things that I can't tell you that have been ideas that are really exciting to me. Some of you may have noticed, like in Townstar, in the top left corner, there's a little box for town that doesn't do anything yet. So there are lots of different things that could be coming that will make it, more robust, more exciting, more ways to use that. But at the end of the day, if you're worried about something, and if you don't feel like you have enough information about something, don't buy it. Don't click the link. Wait for it. Sit back and chill. Like, you don't need to FOMO into things. Like, I might be the worst person to ask for this because I don't really get FOMO. Like, I am more the person who is going to go do a bunch of research and then be like, I'll just wait and watch for a while. Or I'll do what I can for free. Like, I'll just go play it. And I'm like, well, can I earn it? Okay. So like then I feel like I'll just use my time and earn it and just hold on to it for a while. I've done that for a lot of projects and works out for me pretty good. So yeah, always do your own research. Don't buy it. Like, don't do it if you don't want to. Nobody's forcing you to. We're all adults here, hopefully. Not sure. Also, side note on merch. Yes, friends. I've spent so much time designing merch products. Like in the last year, I made like slideshows of beautiful things, of coffee mugs, of t-shirts, of keychains, of bottle openers, of baby outfits, of all the things you could ever imagine. And we just didn't have a chance to get to that. So I'm hoping that within this year and hopefully soon we'll be able to get some kind of merch site up, because I do understand the need and the desire to want to, have a Gala coffee mug, or to wear a Gala sweatshirt, or to have a hat when you're going around to the bank. So people will be like, hey, what's Gala Games? So
Is this because I bought something off of Etsy for the town logo and the town and the Gala
you
logo?
did
And I posted
what?
that?
I'll
Nothing?
kill you.
Nothing?
They're actually not allowed to do that, and we can sue them.
Nothing. Never
I
mind.
wouldn't do that, but maybe Jesse would.
Well, these
So yeah,
coins
technically
these
you're
coins are
not allowed to
decentralized.
sell.
If
It was Towncoin,
coins,
not Gala.
well,
I got you,
the
bro.
Gala logo shows up on every website and everywhere.
Right, but if you make money off of it, technically we can get you for that because of
Let's see.
copyright. So that's what we say.
So-
Like I have
So
tons
the Gala
of
coin
Gala
logo.
swag.
So the Gala coin logo is copyrighted.
Yeah, it's like in the process of being fully approved all the way.
Would
But
that mean
yeah,
Gala is not decentralized if the logo itself is copyrighted? It sounds a little difficult.
I don't know. I'll ask about that.
So
Like I would
Ripple
assume.
had the same problem with XRP. Before Ripple had the XRP had the Ripple logo, and then after a while they put it out to the community to do a separate XRP logo. That would be troubling, in my opinion, if the Gala logo that is currently on the Gala coin that you see on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and everywhere else, Gemini, Coinbase, if that were copyrighted, you'd have to go after them too.
I will ask. So from the way I understand it is the reason that we don't particularly, desire people to use the logo is because they might use it for evil. For the most part, people are not using it for evil.
And
like,
Bitbender
by
did
evil,
say
I mean by
Bitbender did
faking
say in
someone
the
out.
past that
Uh-huh.
it was okay if people did not fan merch, but fan things.
Yeah,
and
but
use the
not
logo.
selling it. Correct. So the thing when I asked our legal exemplar Jesse is, like for instance, I have a few sweatshirts, I have a nice fleece, I have a bunch of hats, I have a bunch of beanies that all have the Gala logo on it. I've sold nothing. So I'm allowed to go use that logo and create as much merch as I want, as long as I am not making a profit and trying to sell those things and do that. There's also not taking it and again using it for evil. So, and I'm not 100% sure what that means because I have never been given an example of like what would be evil besides taking our logo and then going and making a fake coin on Hotbit. That's bad. Don't do that. So that's where I would have to check in, and I honestly do not know. I am confused. I do want to know the answer to this actually. So I'm gonna ask Gala.
I don't forget. To be dead honest, because people on Etsy make this for just about every coin. They got they get a lot of their stuff off of off of CoinGecko's files that CoinGecko has, or CoinMarketCap, and that seems.
I also think it's just it looks bad. Just because so for instance, say somebody goes to Etsy and they purchase a sweatshirt that they see a picture on Etsy and it's got the Gala logo on it, and then the person receives that thing and they assume that it was an official, even though on Etsy, because people are cray, it's an official thing from our Gala site, and it was a crappy sweatshirt, and then it died. So then where does that end?
They do
so
that
I
with
think
Bitcoin,
that's why.
but they do that with Bitcoin and XRP, and the point is, if that's the case, then either Gala Games, my 2 cents is Gala Games either needs to change their logo, or Gala needs to reflect that it actually is decentralized. Because if you have a decentralized coin using a centralized or somebody's owned picture as its logo, that's problematic. Well,
Right.
legally, it might not be problematic, but it's certainly problematic from a decentralization point of view. It's like, wait a minute, how can you be saying two things at once?
Yeah, exactly. I will ask and check about it because, like, I honestly didn't think about it that way. But yes, Fit After Dark. We don't want no ugly sweaters happening and representing us in that way, unless
Well,
it's like a cute
the
ugly sweater.
Gala coin shouldn't represent you. My 2 cents is
Well, no,
the
it's
Gala
not the
coin is
coin. That's
decentralized.
our Gala Games. That's our logo. That is what we are, and of course, we use that as the also secondarily
Right.
as the coin Gala, capital GALA, but our company is Gala Games, capital G, lowercase ALA, space capital GAMES, with that box. And yes, having the same logo, like that might be the thing. So I'm gonna ask. I don't know, honestly. Like it's a really good question. So I'm not sure, but it's definitely our company logo. It'd be the same idea as like taking the Nike logo and trying to go make your own Nike products and then selling them as if you were Nike.
Oh yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
they're
I totally
centralized. I
agree.
get that too. They're centralized, but like that's still like it's still the company. And so it is like, yeah, I think I see where like the gray zone is because it's also the same logo that we use for the token. So I see what you're saying. And I'll
Yeah.
ask about it and find
I
out for you.
bet the best way out is what Ripple did. They completely disassociated themselves from the coin. They said, you know what, we shouldn't be using the community has taken our logo and put it on there. We'd like, the community should come up with one. And then they came up with the big X, and it was the Ripple logo, but now it's the big X, and everybody is fine with
The
it.
big X. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. That gives me a lot to think about, sir. And I wish I had a better answer for you, but I will check and like see what the thoughts are and see if we've ever thought about that. I mean, I know for sure because of like, Ripple being in the news and everything that we are definitely aware of all the things that Ripple has done.
Yeah, I just don't want to
Badly
get
or
people
not
in
so
trouble.
badly. Right. Exactly. No, I get you. I get you totally. And like, that's the same thing with us too. Like, we don't want that either. We want people to be happy and decentralized. And like, that is like our general goal on things too.
Is Town decentralized?
Yes. Like, I don't know
Okay.
why it wouldn't be. It's pretty
Okay.
decentralized. The only people who own that are people who can earn that. Again, there's no ICO, so there can't be like, I haven't seen like a list of how many wallets own it. And I assume that of course there are whale wallets who are playing Townstar and earning a lot more town than I'm earning.
So its logo is not a Gala logo that Gala
No,
has to give permission to.
no, it was specifically only made for the coin.
Okay, so then it's the Gala
Correct.
coin that's the
Yes,
issue.
that's the only right, exactly. That's the only one though where I see where there's a question and I would have to check on it. So it's totally different than the town logo for Towncoin because that town logo does not represent Townstar even, which is, a game within our ecosystem. So it has its own logo as well. So that's a little bit different too. Yeah. People are in trouble. They do that by themselves. That's fact, Lon John. People do that all the time. So let's see here. Good questions tonight, this evening. A lot of stuff about things that I hope I didn't say anything to get me in trouble. I don't think so. Most of the time, I'm like, this is my opinion, and try to give you as many answers as I possibly can. And
I think
again,
it should be obvious that a lot of these things, I mean, even if you do say them, they need to be vetted and made official by the lawyer, obviously.
yeah,
So I don't want to
exactly.
get you in trouble now.
Yeah, so that's why, and again, like I want to find out the right answers so that I can like, let you guys know once I find out. Like I'm not like trying to hide anything. Like I'm just like, this is what I've been told. We generally like you can make whatever you want, but don't sell it. Like that has been what the regular rule is. And now your question brings up questions for myself. So I'd like to know too. So it's true. So yes, merch. While we're talking about it, I want this too. I want to be able to just like not have to go create and design a thing on Zazzle or whatever. I want to just be able to go and give a few extra bucks to Gala and be able to purchase my own swag. And I know that will stop the issue too. So if we had a swag store, then people would feel less like they need to go make other places to do that. Let's see here. And I like that too, community logo. It'd be something, I don't know, figure out what's happening. But I like the Gala logo. I like the weird broken 3D square thing.
Well, Gala Games could get a different logo. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I'll bring this up. You've given me a lot to think about this evening,
so
my friends.
Titan, did we have any more questions? Are we getting close to wrapping this up? It's been over an hour, and I want to be respectful of Carrie's time.
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good talk today. 2 weeks from now, we'll have 74 other questions that we'll forget as well. Yeah, we got to write these down because we had a ton of them queued up, and then we get in and we just start talking, and an hour, 20 minutes later, here we are.
Yeah, I understand totally. Like that's why I try to write down everything all the time, and I have a million different note things everywhere to do that. But I enjoy coming and answering questions. We didn't really talk a huge, we kind of focused on safety of blockchain in general tonight, which was really good. Please, again, go tell everybody how to be safe. Don't click.
Well, that's hugely important. I mean, even though it has nothing to do with Gala directly,
yeah,
it's still when people hear, "Oh, I had my Gala wallet hacked," they think other people think it is, that maybe the security isn't what it should be, and getting this information out so that people understand that they really have to do things a little bit differently is huge.
Yeah, it's true. And just to make you feel I don't know if it makes you feel better, but from what I understand from our side, we are very, very careful about security on our side, which is why we have so many different levels of it. We're constantly checking that to make sure that we are doing things correctly. And it's hard to hear that you accidentally clicked a link or you signed into a random website that you didn't think about that your Metamask was signed into, and that's how they got into your stuff. Or you clicked on an OpenSea link that happened to have a code in it, and as soon as you did that, it somehow grabbed your stuff. There's so many different things that could have happened. And most of the time, I would say that it's not Gala Games. We are really diligent about that, and safety is number one on our priority to make sure that we're doing that. We pull these lists, and currently, the last time I saw it, I wouldn't say currently because it was 2 weeks ago, but it was out of the Gala wallets, there were I don't know, something stupid 8,300 passwords that were compromised from other websites that were part of ours. And it's we can't help them. And what that essentially means is they were using the website at Gala the same as another password at another website, and that other website had been known compromised. You can always check, did I get, or have I been pwned? Here, I'm going to type
Pwned, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so there's a website you can just sporadically check your emails and things to make sure that none of the sites that you have logged in with that email have had any kind of security breaches. And if they have, then you just want to pop in and change your passwords for those sites. And again, never keep the same password. So a lot of the things when we pull those reports, what we're seeing is people who are they're being lazy and they have the same password for several accounts. And so that's not on us. We are doing as much as we can to educate and do that. And we're trying to take every precaution to help to make sure that people are safe when they do it. And I don't know, I guess another thing you could do is spread things out. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Wallets are free. You can set up a million different wallets. Don't leave thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in one wallet. Spread it out. So if one wallet gets compromised, you only lose a little, because it's bound to probably happen to you someday where you're not paying attention. It's late at night and you click on a link that you shouldn't have, or you're screen sharing with your Nana and her computer has been compromised by some little kid down the street that is able to view her stuff and then steal it. True story. That kind of happened to me after I moved from Colorado. I got called by the people I used to work for, and they said, "Are you on your computer?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm in a different state." And they said they were on the phone with me, an older person, and they were like, I'm seeing the computer you used to work on, and it's moving around and it's logged into your Gmail account and it's looking through your pictures right now. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, we see the mouse moving. And I don't know who did it, but someone was able to log into that desktop. And then he said that it looked like when they went through the history, because I had him go look, is they attempted to sign into my bank from that browser. So they had just got in because it wasn't safe and locked down. And I had left something logged in there like months ago from when I left. So it's little tiny things like that you just don't think about. And they're gonna get you.
Also, it helps if you go to get an account at lifelock.com.
Yes.
They're good at telling you about breaches that happen.
Yes. LifeLock, yes, 100%. I actually just heard about that recently, and I think that is an excellent idea because then they will, like you said, let you know if something is happening on your breaches. So I hope this has been useful and helpful. And again, spread the word. That's all we can really do is try to protect each other and make sure that we're sharing that information with other people as we learn and grow and get over the hackers so that we can block them out completely so that they have no life. I've gotten the stupidest messages from people where they're like, I have found a breach in the Townstar game. And I'm like, okay. And then that's all I say. And they're like, do you want to know? And I'm like, sure. Waiting to see what they say. And they're like, well, I found this thing. And I know generally what they are that. There are certain things that we're working on fixing right now for Townstar. We didn't get to get into any of that stuff, but, and I was like, yep, we're aware of that. And they're like, so, you don't need me to tell you exactly what it is. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I already know what you're talking about. And this is my job, sir. I get called sir a lot in DMs. This is how I make my money. And I'm always like, this is not how you should, this is morally not cool of you to try to exploit people.
Is there a way that you can, that people can report things that they find? It might be that they found something useful. I mean, is there an email address or can you submit a ticket to say, hey, I think there's this problem?
You can definitely submit a ticket. You can send me a DM. You can send a message to Mal in Discord is a good one too, or even directly to Elliot, who's Misha's sled dog in there. I will take those directly to the Townstar team if it's something that we can look at. We don't have a bounty program or anything like that. What we're looking into doing is getting some loyal people who've been around for quite a while to help us test things before they go out so that we can, be like, here, please break this. We want you to try to break it. We want you to try to find all the holes, poke your fingers through everything and see if there's a problem before we release this next section. So we're working on doing that too, just so that when we implement new things that we can be, just safer along the lines. That's definitely on the list of stuff that we want to do. But for now, if you find something that seems like a breach or anything like that, do let me know. And I will bring it to the attention of our developers and see if there is something that they can do about it. Like I said, right now, they're working really hard on fixing a lot of the things that have been an issue for a really long time in Townstar. And personally, I am stoked to see it all happen in the next several weeks and then see how much that is going to change things for the better. And then we'll just keep getting better, I think.
Great. Well, I can definitely vouch for that with, excuse me, with Mal.
Yeah.
In my 51 years, I've never ever met anybody as security conscious as Mal.
For real.
Yeah, you have got the perfect person in Mal doing what he does because he knows the ins and outs and he is right on track with where he needs to be there. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know the programs that he uses, but I think he's shared them sometimes in the chat with people in Townstar and in Gala Gold and things where he has these crazy looking charts where he's tracking people who are being jerk faces and moving stuff around. Side note on that, I see someone in the chat, the 24-hour cooldown is, I think it's getting pushed really soon, but there's an update to that will actually fix it for realsies in a totally different way, along the lines with a lot of other things that are being implemented at the same time. During that little miniature turn off the mint thing that they were doing, they had to I think it was going to mess something up when they re-implemented the code, and it didn't take as long. I didn't get the announcement out that it was live again because it was live again when I was sleeping. So I did it as soon as I woke up. And
Are they
yeah,
waiting
that's
for like after our monthly
the reset.
way to
Yeah,
earn?
right. Yeah. So we're trying to time that so that it doesn't mess up anybody's game because, as everybody knows, when we push updates, the major updates, it's not fun. Like if you don't know what's happening and then your browser is not only refreshed, but like stuff's locked out and then like it messes up your like scripts that you may be running and like a whole slew of things. So we are very conscious of that and trying really hard not to do that or give you guys good warning. So we just discussed today, like there's a lot of things that will be implemented this week coming up, but we want to make sure that reset happens at the right time and that we can implement them afterwards or, like Tuesdays, which is when we normally do when things are down, and then give people warning on that. But yeah, they are definitely going hard on taking care of the people who are essentially just stealing because of loopholes that they're able to find. Like we don't like that any more than anyone else. It's just a matter of figuring out how to do it. And I feel pretty confident that this fix that they have going this time is the one. And like, I'm sure that in the future there will be other things because that is just what happens. But, one day at a time, we'll get it fixed. We'll get it all figured out and awesome.
All right. On that note, are we done, Titan?
Oh, I could. You know me. I could talk for 4 hours. But
Titan's like never leave.
This one's getting a bit long. I try to keep these at an hour, and we're already at an hour and a half. People start dropping off after about an hour anyway.
Yeah, they can only listen to us blather for so long.
So I appreciate your very good humor and hopefully Carrie, and hopefully you don't think that I was giving you too hard of a time.
Oh no. You're good.
Oh, you got her fired up. She was on her heels. Her voice inflection changed. She's writing on her pad. Faz is screwed.
He's the worst. I'm never going to talk to him again.
I don't get any. I'm still waiting on that. By the way, I'm still waiting on that liquidity provider NFT that we were promised a long time ago.
All of those promises.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, I appreciate you very much for coming here, and you did indicate that you might want to come back again too. Is that right?
I mean, you haven't ticked me off too bad, so I suppose that should be fine.
Okay. We're just going to mute his mic from now on.
Maybe we'll talk more about features instead of security and scary things.
Yeah,
next time.
It's important to talk about feature or security. I really appreciate that we took time to do that today because it has been like right on the tip of what we've all been thinking about a lot.
Yeah, so, it's been all over our Discord, and I've seen it in Gala Games server as well. It is that these stories are just horrible, and I appreciate you guys really taking it seriously. There's a lot of companies that be like, dude, we're a game company. We don't worry about security. We hire for that. You guys are taking it the bull by the horns, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that good to know that you guys are paying attention to it, and I wait to see the Key Burglar logo coming.
It's written down. I'm gonna have somebody create this for you, and you're gonna have your mind blown.
He could be constantly jumping on the screen and like trying to take your keys, and I mean, if it could be its own thing. Anyway,
I love it. I love it.
All right. So on that note, I'm going to shut this one down. And thank you very much, Carrie.
Thanks,
Thank
Carrie.
you guys. We'll talk again.